Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have the Prime Minister receives a delegation from the Saudi Fund for Development. The authorities announced this evacuation following the eruption of the Iruganga volcano. Welcome to our newsroom. The Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed received this morning in his office a strong delegation from the Saudi Fund for Development. The Saudi delegation was introduced to the Prime Minister by Presidential Advisor Mr. Fahmi Ahmed Al-Haga. The Saudi delegation was introduced to the Prime Minister by the advisor to the President Mr. Fahmi Ahmed Al-Haga and Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed. The Saudi delegation was made up of several members, including Mr. Abdullah Al-Ramih, advisor to the Operation Department, Mr. Ahmed Al-Maliki, Chief Financial Officers, Mr. Abdurrahman Al-Harbi, Chief Financial Officers, and 3 other members of the Saudi Fund for Development. The Saudi delegation, the first welcomed the Saudi delegations, which will stay in our country until May 27 to meet with the main Djiboutian authorities. The Saudi delegation is in Djibouti for a working meeting with the main objective of monitoring and evaluating the project financed by the Saudi Fund for Development, which intervenes in many areas in our country. The Saudi Fund is committed to the Djiboutian government to support socio-economic development projects, especially in infrastructure. A delegation led by His Excellency Radwan Abdullahi Bahdoun, Minister of Communication in charge of Post and Telecommunication, visit Nairobi from 19 to 23 May to participate in a bilateral meeting with the Kenyan Ministries of ICT and Innovation. The bilateral meeting was co-chaired with his counterpart, His Excellency Joseph Muchoro, Minister of ICT, Innovation and Youth of Kenya. Several operators and institutions participated in this meeting. On the Kenyan side, the discussion is focused on the modalities of investment and acquisitions of capacity and internet bandwidth with Kenya on the Dar 1 Djibouti Africa Regional Express 1 cable. This cable project was initiated, developed, and implemented by Djibouti Telecom and connects Djibouti, Somalia, and Kenya. The minister explained that this cable will help strengthen regional connectivity. One of the major objectives of this cable will be to strengthen regional integration and meet the connectivity needs in the regions as part of the Smart Africa Initiative, the Smart Africa Initiative. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, today received an American delegation from the Shield One charity foundation funded by the American football superstars Demario Davis and Joshua Norman, as well as the head of the construction company, Van Team. The meeting took place in the presence of the Secretary General of the MENFOP, Mohamed Abdallah Mahyoub, the Director General of the Administration and ETFP, as well as the Inspector General of General Education. And the 2 prominent figures of the Djiboutian diaspora living in the USA, Mr. Dirane and Mr. Abdurrahman, and the businessman Abdurrahman Kamaj also took part in the meeting. After welcoming the participant, the minister said he was very happy to receive this visit from 2 American football stars who have chosen to do charity work through their foundation. It was an opportunity for him to review the challenges facing Djibouti's school in terms of building school infrastructure.
I'm an architect in Minneapolis. I also had the privilege of being invited to Djibouti by Durrani Robla, who was the one who introduced Djibouti to me. And he says, Dean, do you want to come help? And I said, yes. So now I have the privilege of working with Durrani and working with Hussein as part of Universal, as part of DJR, to really help with Djibouti. But the key was that the Shield won. Demario and Josh agreed to come with us to make a commitment. But the real thanks goes to Durrani, who started this adventure. He is the one that met me and said, we're going to Djibouti, and began. So now we've had the opportunity to really work with the Minister of Education, with Shield One, with Hussein Robloff, with Durrani, to really start building a future here. Because Djibouti is been very kind, very gracious, very open to me being American, has welcomed me tremendously, and I'm honored to be here.
And now listen to Demario Davis and Joshua Norman, American football superstars.
Yes. So my name is Demario Davis. My brother, Josh Norman. We are the co-founders of Shield One. Our purpose in Shield One, our purpose in existence is to go into communities, predominantly of color, and to create pathways out of poverty. And so,
we fight against poverty.
yes, but for the worldwide. And so we care about the people on the ground. We want to make sure that they have access to every opportunity that everybody else has. And so that's education, whether that's jobs, that's ownership, entrepreneurship, protection, and whatever that it is that they need. We go in, we identify the problems, and we find ways to partner with the city officials who are responsible for taking care of the people and create partnerships and whatever is needed to alleviate those burdens. And so our project has worked throughout the U.S., from California to Buffalo, New York. We were invited via some of our friends. We have relationships here on the continent of Africa in Rwanda, and we have friends now in Djibouti. They invited us over. We came. We see many opportunities. We got the chance to meet the Minister of Education. Got the chance to see the school that he did at Lakabe. And we're just moved. And so we just want to find ways that we can help, that we can partner, any way that we can assist, support the people of Djibouti. We'll meet with the minister, see what plans are in existence, see if there's opportunities for us to come in and support. But on our trip to Lakabe, we saw so many communities and villages that, just putting schools there, putting water there, putting crops there, different things of that nature, it could be help. And so we'll meet with the minister and figure out what the plans are for Djibouti and find out if there's ways that we can support.
All right, so I'm Josh Norman. I'm with Shield One, as my brother Demario Davis is. And so, yes, play football Americano. I know it's different here. So I'm not playing with one. I was with the Buffalo Bills, and he's with New Orleans Saints. So we played there. This is our 10th year in the NFL, so a decade, you would say, playing. It's been quite a journey, I would say, the least. But along those journeys, we have developed, actually, you guys don't probably know this, but we came in the league together. So we actually was bonded in that whole entire, space. And so ever since then, we kind of like got back together and rekindled, and we've been going out and doing mission work for the last 6 years or 7. So this is a part of that mission globally. And so Africa has been the first place that we came globally to continue our missions that we have been doing in the stateside. And I'm telling you, it's a blessing to come back to the motherland and start what we have been doing domestically. So it's been very appreciative, and we are honored, and we're so thankful to be here amongst you guys in Djibouti, our first stop in Africa.
The Secretary General of the Minister of Education, Mohamed Abdallah Mahyoub, in his speech indicates that there had been discussions between the minister and the U.S. delegation on the ways and means of building schools and housing for teachers in Djibouti at reduced cost and in a very short time frame. He then followed with great interest the presentations of the Child Wine Foundation, the American football superstars. Before the meeting this morning with the minister, the American delegation who arrived in Djibouti on Thursday and Friday visited the tourist sites of Lake Assala and Lake Abe. The American delegation, composed of the Child One charity foundation founded by the American football superstar Demario Davis and Joshua Norman, as well as the boss of the construction company Vanteam, Mr. Dirane, and Mr. Abdurrahman, member of the Djiboutian diaspora living in USA, who were among the American delegation. On Friday, the delegation left for the site of Lake Assal to visit the ice flows of Lake Assal, a unique curiosity of our countries with a deposit of salt and multicolored water, very salty. On Saturday, the same delegation left for Lakabe, on the border of our country, a site also very popular with tourists. The Minister of Education has already built a primary school for the children of the nomadic families living in this area. The delegation visited the new school. As part of the improvement of the development of Djibouti City, the technical directions of the Mayor of Djibouti led this morning a visit to the various sites of development of the city of Djibouti. The Mayor of the city, Fatuma Awali Osman, proceeded to the vast operation of the implementation of the tower in the different sides of the capital, that the places of the guard, which is the line of the city, that of the Avenue 13, which is the Street 13, which is the main of the city. It should be recalled that the objective of this tower is to verify the progress of the various development sides of the city. A new plan of clean lines to improve the living environment of Djiboutians. This tower in the different development sites of the capital has seen the participation of the technical director, the agents of the city, all who have spared no effort for the success of this project. For the international scene, the authority of the Democratic Republic of Congo announced on Saturday night the activations of the evacuation plan of the population in the city of Goma, capital of the province of North Kivu, northeast, following the eruptions of the Nyiragongo volcano. The announcement was made live by the government spokespersons on Congolese national television late in the evening after an emergency crisis meeting led by the Prime Minister Sama Lukonde. Thousands of people rushed out of Goma during the night to seek refuge in the nearby town of Gisenyi in Rwanda. Others headed off the surrounding villages, including Sake, a few kilometers from the city. The region of Goma, which hosts two active volcanoes, Yamuragira and Nyiragongo, last erupted in 2002. Thousands of houses were destroyed and about 250 people died. This is an extremely rare occurrence. After the ceasefire came into effect on Friday, Hamas fighters marched through Gaza to claim victory for the first time since the beginning of the conflict. Its leaders showed themselves publicly, including Yahya Sinwar, the head of the Hamas, in the Gaza Strip report to honor its dead. Hamas is doing things in a big way. After the fighting stopped on Friday against Israel, several hundred fighters of the Islamist movement marched in the center of Gaza. For their part, the inhabitants, tuned by 11 days of offensive, observed these troops without cheering. Hamas leaders were present, and the most important of them appeared when the parade ended. For the first time since the Israel offensive, Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas in the Gaza Strip, appeared in public. He chose to come and greet the family of the fighters killed during the offensive. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.